So now what we can do is we can actually take this shovel and now do the dirty deed of shoveling coal into this furnace. And I think we have to keep shoveling it. Or maybe I just need to light it. There we go. Now we need to keep shoveling.
Not yet.
Or not.
Not yet.
Okay, game. I get it now. Oh, never mind. We're done, I guess. Or not. Turns out, it's still not cooling down enough. And now this is one of the few times, I believe, I'm actually a little hazy on the details, but this is one of the few times where the solution to a puzzle lies in one of these videos. Basically, like any good steam engine, you need to make steam. So we'll just take some water and give it coolant by putting it underneath this. I don't remember what this is. I guess it's a valve of some sort by the looks of it.
Not yet.
Guess that was enough. Well, there we go. We have now used the valve to create steam. And if you turn around, cheap games for all, or actually just an unflooded basement, which is much more important in this case if we're going to escape this place. And now the most unfitting room of the castle, the future room, full of dials and switches that control the air conditioning in the medieval castle next to the electronics store. Again, very weird game. But these are all very important. This is actually for the sword room. That's the most important one that we need, because we need to release the sword. Now, as some people, I'm sure any basic education might tell you, metal expands in heat. We need to contract the metal. And I believe that should be enough to make it so we can pull the sword out. Oh, yeah, do the thing that only Arthur could do because he had basic understanding of thermodynamics. I would think that's thermodynamics. I'm probably wrong about that. Oh, would you look at that? We're now the king of the realm.
Great sword, eh? Alloy steel. You know, it was alloys of a different sort that made possible the Apollo moon launch.
Very hard to understand him with that vibrating effect on top, but at the very least, even if we're not king of the realm, it's enough to trick this dumb guard into thinking we are.
Enter, my lord.
Apparently, if you have a weapon, you are royal. Not sure that's exactly how it worked. Now, over here, nothing really on these walls, just some basic stuff, more stuff, but what's most important is this jewel. That's what we need. Once we get that jewel, we'll finish all the connections and the level will be over. Except there's a force field. Because that makes sense. Now, thinking, well, how the hell are you supposed to get rid of that force field? Well, we need to go back to that room with the air conditioning controls. The giant, oversized, novelty air conditioning controls. And if we turn to the left, you'll see some switches. Some very old-fashioned looking switches. But these control the force field. However, you have no idea how to flip the switches. You could probably discern it, but what you're supposed to do is figure out this puzzle. So we've got a bunch of hints here. We've got statement for switch 1 means that all switches are false. And the same is for switch 3, one and only one switch is true. So we have to set the switches proper order to exchange force field. So fairly basic. Now I'm trying to remember the answer to this puzzle. So false switch 1, the statement is that all switches are false. Well, that can't be true, because if all switches are false, one of them would have to be true. Which is why statement 3 says that one is true. Now, if this one is true, and that means statement switch number 3 is true, that means it has to be the true one, and switch 1 would have to be set to false, because it's impossible for all 3 to be false if one is supposed to be true. So I believe if I do this right, I think that's the answer. I'm going to look really stupid when I find out that's not the answer. Now I need to be really careful here, because once you pick up the diamond, if this is the answer, once you pick up the diamond and you turn to the left, then the level will end and you actually can't click on the diamond to view the video. I've had many playthroughs where I never even got to watch the video because of that simple mistake. So I'm going to save the game here, because I'm going to need to come back later if I want to make a clip showing off all the extra videos. Not that anyone would be interested in watching edutainment in a video game. And speaking of which, no, I don't know if I'd ever play Rita Rabbit 2nd grade. Could. That's another one of games I would probably be very good at. So we should be able to pick this up. And nope, I made a complete fool of myself solving that very basic puzzle. So I guess we'll just go back down there and try again. See if I can figure it out this time. So let me just look at the puzzle again, because I need to see. Okay, all switches are false. Well, if only one switch is true. Oh, well, yeah, there's my mistake. I can't read. So that means the second switch has to also be false. Oops, did not mean to do that. Some things are click and drag, some things are just click, and I can't remember which are what. So there we go. So now we've got, well, we know that statement 1 is false, so switch 1 needs to be false. And we know that statement 3 is true. Well, then that means switch 3 would have to be the true one, meaning switch 2 has to be false because only one can be true. So now we should be able to take the diamond off of the crown and steal the crown jewels. Again, master thief. I'm just gonna save over that. Do you know what? I don't even know if that worked, so you know what? I'm not even gonna try. I think I did it right. There we go. Actually, what? I don't know why I can't just make a save here. Yeah, lots of saving. But, again, classic adventure games. You can't never be too careful. So you'll see there's nothing here, so I guess we'll just leave.
Well done! So DNA was revealed by graphite in the pencil that links through carborundum to the artificial diamonds that replaced alloys, some of which built Apollo for TV to show, thanks to oscilloscope phosphorus from matches with paraffin wax used in copy paper that James Watt needed for his steam pump business. Good! These links ought to stabilize the web for long enough for us to be able to... Uh-oh.
And with that PowerPoint transition effect, we are now in the desert with a familiar hot air balloon. Well, I think that about does it for level 1 of this game. Hopefully it was at least somewhat entertaining, or at the very least interesting. All that stuff he said at the end may not make much sense now, but if you want to check out the extra video where I show off the clips from the show included in the connected parts down here, then it might make a little more sense. Well, I think that about does it for now. Hopefully I'll record level 2 soon. I know that it's been quite an absence of videos in the past, oh man, I don't even know at this point, 3 years. I've been uploading things here and there of little value. I'm honestly quite surprised people even watch half the stuff that I post, but I thank you for anyone who does end up watching. It is very kind to know that my videos are at least entertaining to someone. So hopefully I will record level 2 soon, and hopefully someone of you that watch this will find enjoyment out of it. Leave a comment if you enjoyed it, or if there's anything you liked or didn't like about us. Maybe someone out there even played this game at some point themselves. But yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you next time.